Welcome back. A bit of a showbiz roundup for you now. The latest explosive Hollywood divorce story is now unravelling. Actress Sophie Turner is suing her ex Joe Jonas in order to try and move their two children back here to her native United Kingdom. It's all looking a bit, what would you say, a bit hostile, a bit nasty. I'm joined in the studio by Josh Rom, the Sun showbiz journalist. Lovely to see you, Josh. And down the line from LA, Caroline Feraday. How good, lovely to have you on the show, Caroline. Let's start with Josh, and you can just set the story out for us. What's going on? So
the story is, this is a couple that announced earlier on this month that they were divorcing. They said at the time that it was amicable. Rumour has it around kind of Christmas time, they both agreed to move to the UK permanently, make that their home, so to speak. But what's effectively happening is the kids were out there. They've got three-year-old daughters, three-year-old daughter Willa, and one-year-old child, which they haven't named publicly yet. They tried to keep them out of the public eye as much as possible. Great what they're doing now. Perfect example. But they joined Joe Jonas on tour for 3 months, living in Miami, living in New York. Sophie went to collect the children from New York. She's currently physically with them in the St. Regis in the Southern District. But Joe effectively does not want the children to go back to the UK permanently with Sophie Turner, of course, the Game of Thrones actress, and he is effectively withholding their passports. So what she's done is she has filed a motion in both a Manhattan court and also the Central Authority of England and Wales to request the children's return to the UK, and this lawsuit in Manhattan is absolutely explosive. She's effectively accused him of almost abduction of their children.
The word abduction,
yeah, she has used the word abduction, and he's basically hit back at Sophie as well, claiming that this sort of language is misleading at best, but it is an abuse of the legal system at worst to effectively move divorce proceedings over to the UK.
Let's bring Caroline in because she'll give us the American perspective on this. Hi, Caroline.
Hi there. Yeah, well, here we are in Hollywood. There is no such thing as an amicable divorce, is there?
No.
These big money stars, there is so much money involved. There are high-profile careers at stake. And this is not your average Hollywood divorce because, of course, you saw recently, you know, Kevin Costner getting divorced from his wife. That became quite contentious. But this is two people who are huge stars in their own right and very wealthy in their own right. So early on, their divorce got a bit difficult in that Joe Jonas was accused of putting out stories suggesting that Sophie Turner wasn't being like a great mom. Why is she out drinking cocktails? All of that. There was some backlash against that because I think people found that to be quite a misogynistic viewpoint in today's day, you know, day and age of like, well, why shouldn't she? You know, just why has her life got to stop kind of thing? And she's been off working. This is a big problem for a lot of couples, not just high-profile couples, but where they're coming to say, well, hang on, where do we have jurisdiction? Where are our kids going to live? What happens if we split up and we have this international lifestyle and we have to make a change? So he has got the kids at the minute in America, as you say, and she's saying, well, hang on a minute, I want them in the UK. How am I going to get them there? And she's using the law to try and achieve that.
I mean, it's very awkward, isn't it, Josh, particularly as judges are always saying, please don't use the children as a football in this divorce.
And that's exactly the point. This is effectively two very privileged personalities. One incredibly successful in the music industry, another a Hollywood actress darling, both of them huge worldwide global names, airing their dirty laundry for the public to see. Now, of course, people are going to take side of one or the other, but effectively, this is just two very famous people using their public platforms to try and almost one up on each other, using these poor children, effectively, who they've tried to keep out of the public eye, effectively, as you said, as footballs. And it's a case of where is the privacy here?
Yes, and Caroline, obviously this picture being painted by you know, the gentleman, Joe Jonas's legal team, kind of implying that she's a good time girl. And I don't think anyone thinks she really is. I think they think that's really very unfair.
Yeah, I think that there has been that narrative that has tried to come out of Joe Jonas's camp, and that has been kind of swatted down. I think people spotted that and thought, well, hold on a minute. I mean, she's off working, she's out there and working and earning, and she's still really at a very powerful place in her career. Whereas he had his success when he was younger, and yes, he's still touring. Yes, he's worth a huge amount of money, but her star power is sort of on the up, whereas he's kind of had his kind of big moment some years ago, and yes, people love him. He's a musician. He doesn't have the same star power in the UK as he has in the US. He is a much bigger star here than in the UK. But her sort of star power is very much on the up and going up. This will be interesting because what's really going to have to happen is these courts are going to have to decide who has jurisdiction for their divorce.
I'm going to have to stop you right there, my darling, because otherwise we're going to run out of time. Thanks, Caroline. Thank you, Josh, very much.